Hello, everybody. Good evening. I think I have my light issue fixed. I think Steve from Viking Media suggested, hey, why don't you just turn your desk around? It worked. It worked. Oh, hey, mom of two. Glad to see you made it back. Hey, Gwen. How you guys doing? How is everybody tonight? I know there's lots of excitement going on on YouTube right now. We may not stay on very long. I know the drama and the um, I don't know, excitement of friends turning on each other is what lots of people enjoy seeing. So I don't think we may not have a big crowd, but I feel like we need to get started on this message. We're going to postpone the Damon Stevens discussion. Um, a young man from Harlan County who murdered his parents. He thought they were pod people who took over his parents' bodies. He murdered them and burnt their bodies up and threw their bones in the river. Um, hey, Angela, how are you? Oh goodness, we but we're going to talk more about Damon Stevens this week. Um, we have a dear friend of the stand who had surgery today. Um, and this was the first of other surgeries. Yes, Gwen, that's what I'm talking about. E squared. She's sore. She may stop in. I don't know if she's not already in bed. Um, but she said she's sore, and but she was texting from the recovery room earlier, and I've texted with her a little bit, and that is actually her information you see across the bottom of the screen right here. Um, that's her Cash App, and that's her PayPal Me. That's E squared. She had an important surgery today, and there are plenty here, JC, to have unintelligent conversation. Right? But let's see if we can help E squared out a little bit. You know, maybe she'll feel like coming or maybe even writing something out for me to read and um, share more of her situation that she's comfortable sharing. But she's fighting the battle against the ugliest word in the medical field, in my opinion, and you know, it's that cancer. You know, and hopefully, you know, the friends of the stand and friends of hers, we can help out with just a little bit, because hey, there she is. Hey, you want to come up now? I'll send you an invite. Let me put this is for E squared. She can talk about her surgery and how it went, and I'm glad you feel good enough to talk about it. With so much negative stuff going on, maybe we can hear some good news and hear from our friend who had a tough day, but hopefully it ends on a positive note. And um, any surgery is just rough. It's rough on the body. You know, I've had a few myself, and all except for once, I did not feel like $1 million, and I think I just got to the point so bad when I had that surgery on my back that um, I felt like as soon as I came out of the recovery room, I wanted to try to run. Like, please let me put my feet on the ground and take some steps straight, standing up straight. But that was the only time. The rest of my surgeries, felt so bad when I woke up. Yeah, the word is Ernie's in the hospital. We're trying to confirm. Hey, E Squared, look here, live from the hospital. How are you
Hey,
doing?
hey guys, I'm doing okay.
You look like $1 million.
Oh man, I don't believe that.
Put some hearts in there for E Squared. That's awesome.
Um, this is the first time I've been on panel. I don't know when I open my chat, it's covering our faces too. It's going all the way up
Yeah,
to the screen.
we can see your from the shoulders up. You look fine. You're doing good, and we can hear you just fine. Can you hear
Okay.
us?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Um,
Yeah.
do you just want me to kind of go over what I've been going through?
Yeah, let us know. Let everybody. I kind of know, but let everybody know what's going on and where you're at right now. What's going on? Not physically,
Uh,
not like
right,
you're
right.
at,
No,
but
I understand.
where you.
Okay. Well, before all this started with me, January of 2021, my husband was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer, and he had two tumors in his lungs that were non-operable, but it hadn't spread anywhere else. So we were thinking it was a good outcome. He was going to radiation, chemo, everything was going good until the morning of January 8th of this year, 2022, and when he passed away unexpectedly. Even though he had cancer, we weren't expecting it at that moment.
Right.
Um, so and the reason I bring that up is not for any sympathy or anything like that. The reason I bring that up is because during that time I was so focused on his health and helping him that I wasn't paying attention to my own body. Hold on just a second. I've got somebody coming in here. I'm going to mute it for a second.
Oh, you're fine. We'll let the nurse or whoever's in there with her work with her for a minute and give her some quiet time for a second.
I'm sorry, guys. Give me just a second. They said my heart rate was up. They're going to put some things on me. Keep an eye on
Okay.
it. So just give me like 2 minutes to get this done, and then I'll have time. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. You're fine. Just let us know when you're ready. All right. Um, Tim, um, Lisa Lady saying that he has been bullied. Um, recently, I would agree with that. Um, now, backing way up, I would say that you know, and not so sure I would call it him being bullied. I would think more of you know, him arguing with everybody, and you know, two people arguing doesn't make one a bully. So, um, 10 people arguing doesn't make five a bully. You know, it's just a bunch of people arguing. But yeah, I think it has continued on past the point of a simple, um, well, even not even simple, but you know, past the point of disagreeing to the fact to where you do see some bullying going on now. So yeah, but but he's not uh, clear of fault. I'll say that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to feel like coming on panel. I mean, that was a surprise, you know, shock. So it's a blessing. I think it's awesome that she feels good enough to try to talk. And Thank you, not my monkey. I appreciate that. And that's I've got that's E squared's information on the bottom there. First is her Cash App, and the other is PayPal me. Um, so if you feel compelled to donate, she would be. Yep, that's the one up on Happy Top. You're right. You from Harlan, Tim? You gotta be from Harlan to know that. Instead of calling that Cold Iron or Wallens, you call it Happy Top. So yeah, no, we're not going to talk about Damon much tonight. I didn't. With so much going on YouTube, we're going to save that for the rest of this week, and we got plenty to talk about there. Yeah, he definitely flipped straight up out of there and just lost his mind. Um, what is it they said? Schizophrenic, something I can't remember exactly what they got. Paranoid schizophrenia. Where he thought his parents were pod people, or had pod people had taken over his parents' bodies. I guess I don't know. Hey, Steve, how's it going? He was a quiet guy, but he was kind of a party going guy too. I knew of him to be at several parties where my friends had partied. Um, Several at one of my friends' house. He's supposed to come on panel this week too. So it's been a long time ago. Um, I didn't even realize that he was already out. Yeah. So, and if you're just coming in, I'm being a little kind of quiet right now. E squared is on panel. She's telling us a little bit about what's going on with her, and um,
Okay, guys, I'm so sorry about that.
you're fine. You're fine.
But what I was saying is, I led my story off with that because I feel like we're so focused on him and making sure he doesn't sit on my own, but and seem heard all this stuff, and I really want to get that to people, that it's
You're
very important.
robot a little bit.
Oh
Getting a
no.
No, now you're not. When you said, "Oh no," you weren't.
Okay.
Now you're good. Now go ahead.
Okay. So, I really want to get it out there to people that it's important, really, really important, that if you feel with your body that anything doesn't seem right, have it checked out. It's not going to hurt anything. If it's nothing, great. If it's something, you may catch it early. When I went to, okay, I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained right now, but when I went to the ER the night that this all started, it was at the end of March. My stomach was swollen. I would compare it to a 9-month pregnant person. It was as tight as it could be without splitting open. So I went to the emergency room. They did a CAT scan. The doctor in the emergency room didn't seem to want to tell me how bad it looked. She was talking like I had a cyst on my ovary, which is a normal thing for women, and usually it's not a huge big deal.
Right.
So they made me an appointment to see a gynecologist in my town, and I went there about 7 days later, and at that time I found out what they had actually seen. They did not see a cyst on my ovary because the growth in my pelvis was so big they couldn't even see my ovaries, either one of them.
Gosh.
So she didn't want to touch it. She knew that 99% sure that it was probably cancerous. So this gynecologist lady didn't want any part of it. So she sent me to the big town where they have a cancer center and things like that. When on April 4th, I had my first surgery. This is not my first surgery. On April 4th, I had my first surgery to remove the mass in my abdomen that they assumed to be ovarian cancer. From the time I went into the operating room to the time I came out, I was 13 pounds lighter. So between the growth and my ovaries and I guess fluid and stuff, 13 pounds is what they took out of me that day. So they sent it off. Well, when I first came out of surgery, the doctor says, it was stage 2 ovarian cancer. And the only reason they were considering it stage 2 is because it was connected to the pelvic wall along with the ovaries and, nowhere else. Everything else looked clean. My kidneys, my liver, everything they could see visually looked clean. And not to mention they said this in front of my daughter, which has a very tender heart. So she was very glad that her mom was considered cancer-free. They were going to do some chemo just to make sure it stayed gone. And this was the plan until they sent it off for pathology. When they sent it off for pathology, it came back as a type of cancer. It's called mucinous adenocarcinoma. Well, mucinous adenocarcinoma does not come from the ovaries. So they're like, uh-oh, this is coming from somewhere else. So they send me, and the two places that it comes from most often is your stomach and your colon. So they send me for a scan of both, my stomach and my colon, and they find the tumor in my colon. So what I actually have been diagnosed with, stage 4 colon cancer. But like I said, we're kind of working backwards because they found the secondary cancer before they found the primary cancer. So it is considered stage 4 because it had spread, but they did get all that out of my ovaries. Where it had spread to, they were able to remove all that. So right now, the only place I have an active tumor is in my colon. Let me see. So today, okay. So what I had done today is the tumor in my colon was causing a blockage. And you guys, I know there's probably going to be blowback. There's going to be people saying this and saying that. But listen, when I tell you guys this, some of this is, this is my private, life and my private information. And like I said, I'm not putting this out there to garner sympathy or anything like that. I want people to realize that this can happen to anybody. I'm 39 years old. The first doctor that I saw for my ovaries said, you are way too young to be going through all this. And I understand even younger people get cancer, but this can happen to anyone. And they usually don't even suggest that you start getting colonoscopies until 40. So technically, I wasn't even due to even start looking at my colon, and I want people to know that this is something that's serious. You can be fine, think you're fine one day, and be laying in a hospital bed the next day with stage 4 cancer. It can happen to anybody, and it's scary, and it's painful, and it's bad. So the surgery that I had today is they put a colostomy because the tumor was causing a blockage. Now, when the doctor came in to talk to me after surgery, I was still loopy out of it. So I can't tell you for 100% sure if they removed the tumor today or not. It was a possibility. He said if he was able to remove it, he would. But I do not know at this point in time whether they were able to successfully do that or not, or anything. So I will find that out in the morning. But where I had a blockage from the tumor, they had to go in and put in a colostomy. And I'm not going to go into the details of that. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. It's not pretty. It's not fun. It's not anything good, So,
I grew up with
but
a kid that was younger than me who had one, and I was probably sophomore, and he was a couple years younger than me, and he had one.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's and he, he's always had it. Um, yeah, it's I know it's going to be different for you. But you'll get used to it, and will you need it for long term, forever? How's that work? Do you know?
Well, the doctor that did the surgery today, he tells me that he's considering it short term. He said, even if I have to do something crazy to put you back together, I will try to do it. Of course, no doctor can give you 100% guarantee on anything. He said, but, he said, I will do everything in my power to get you put back together. So we are shooting for temporary at this point. Of course, anything can happen, but I'm hoping it's temporary.
And I know they got some really good doctors there where you're going, so um,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. Actually, they're really good at what they do.
And I was lucky with this surgery because they were able to do it laparoscopically. And what that means is they only make 3 small incisions, and they work with like cameras and things inside your body instead of having to cut you all the way wide open.
Yeah,
Because 6 weeks ago to this day, see, they have to wait 6 weeks between surgeries unless it's life threatening. They can't do a surgery sooner than 6 weeks. So today makes it 6 weeks exactly from when I had my first surgery. Now, it was a wide open surgery. They cut me from about 3 inches above my belly button all the way down to the bottom on my first surgery.
oh my,
Um, so I haven't even really fully healed from that one. So I was really glad that they didn't have to open me completely up again, because that would have been really hard on my body. This is already, but that would have been worse.
that makes your body so sore too. I know. When I quick story, when I
Yeah.
was 16 years old, I didn't want to go to school one day, so I told mom I had a stomach ache. Well, my mom got stubborn on me, said, "Well, you're going to the doctor then." I said, "Okay." So we went to the doctor, and it was one of them old timey doctors. He didn't even, no test, no nothing. He said, "Well, you probably got appendicitis." So he took my appendix out, and I mean, I've got a scar from on the one side of my belly button all the way over to the other side of my ribs, like, and there wasn't even nothing wrong with me. So yeah, and those long cuts are rough on the stomach. I know, and
Yeah.
I don't know the recovery time now. I know it's a little bit easier now with the new medicine and numbing and all that, the anesthesia, but I know it's still rough on your body. How long were you sore after that? Like, are you still?
Well, I'm still sore. The original incision from April 4th, I can still like if I bend over or I pick up something that's a little bit heavy where I have to strain my muscles, or if I push on it, with my hand, it's still sore. Nothing near what it was in the beginning, but it's definitely still sore at times. So that's why I was really glad they didn't have to do another large incision.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad they didn't have to cut you like that. I've had the lab band surgery too, and they did the laparoscopic. And
Uh,
I mean, I can't even tell now. It's been several years now, but I can't even tell now unless you're looking for it. You can't even find the little bitty scars. Like, you can't even see them. So
yeah.
the technology has come a long way, and I'm so glad they was able to do that way for you.
Yeah, yeah. And anything I say, like I said, I'm not even looking at chat because when I like to be able to see who I'm talking to. So when I put up chat, for some reason it covers up the pictures. But what I'm gonna say is the reason I'm so upbeat right now and able, they have me drugged up really good right now. I ain't gonna lie.
You got them good meds, don't you?
I ain't gonna lie. So that's why you're like, people are probably like, oh my, this girl don't sound like she's been through all that, but they've got me feeling pretty good right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they'll probably come in there pretty soon and give you something to make you rest throughout the night too.
Oh yeah, I hope so. See, they've got me on this little button and I can push it every 10 minutes.
Oh,
And
you're
what
on
it does, they have my medicine going through an epidural. So it's got the numbing medicine and the pain medicine going through my spine, not my vein.
yeah, yeah. You can feel it immediately too, right? Like, so you
Yeah,
start bad and you hit that button and you feel better right away.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well,
But
I'm
I
sure
mean,
you're
I
upbeat.
didn't mean to take up your show. I just, you know, I just knew that, I hadn't told you really in detail everything, and just so everybody knows, because I know there's going to be trolls and probably clips and whatever about this, but I have sent Jimbo screenshots from my medical records. This is
Yeah, you didn't have
this
to do that. You
this.
didn't have to do
I know he did not ask me to, and I did not ask for this to happen. I want that to make clear.
that.
Can
No,
you verify that I did not ask for this to happen?
I asked for her information. I wanted to try to raise some money for her. So this is on me. I wanted to get her information and get it out there so we could try to raise some money for her.
And like I said, um, with my husband just passed away. I've got two children, 17, 15. It was a big blow to our household when my husband passed away because we went from a two income household. Even though he had cancer, he had disability payments coming in and things like that. So when he passed away, we were down to a one income household. I worked full time, 40 hours every week. I don't draw a check. I don't, whatever. Um, so I have not been to work since March 29th, I believe. So I would have gotten, my last paycheck for whatever I worked before that on that time period. And I haven't had any income whatsoever since March 29th. So,
Arkansas said, "Who gives a hoot what people say?"
well, thank you,
we don't
Arkansas.
we don't care what they say over here, do we? uh, they can talk about me all they want. We won't let them talk about you. They can talk about me all they want. I'm a big boy. I can take it.
Right,
Y'all
right.
should y'all should have seen my son this weekend. Uh, a grown man came at me wanting to hit me over a ball game, and
Oh my goodness.
my 15-year-old son, stepped in front of him and like, "You not touching my dad." Hunter, I can take up for myself, buddy.
Oh, bless his heart, though. That's great, though, that he's
Then I had
willing
to
to
tell
stand
the
up.
boys, hey, we don't throw punches over ball games. The other guy
Right.
gets mad, he can be mad. We let somebody grab a hold of him. We're not ever going to throw a punch over a basketball game. So
Yeah.
this is you turn it into a learning moment always. Now I got to hear that. Yay, sports, right?
Yeah, go
Yay,
sports.
sports.
Go sports. Yeah, I have no clue when it comes to sports.
Start talking sports, and E Squared always puts in the chat, "Go sports."
Oh my goodness. So I think we, now our plan from here on out is I should be able to my 2 to 3 weeks. That start even after things like that. They can hurt the the healing process.
Yeah.
Um,
You roboted a little bit. You roboted a little bit. What did you say could hurt the healing process? That's about all I caught out of
if
that.
if I start, do I sound okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So if I start the chemo immediately, like let's say I get out here on Friday and I start the chemo immediately on Monday, before my body's healed, a lot of people get sick and nauseous and things like that from the chemo. So if I were to do that and have a lot of vomiting and things like that, it could disrupt the healing process. So they are going to make me wait 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, they know best. So
Right.
so that's the one thing, when you put your trust in God and put your trust in those doctors, and that they're led by God. Hopefully they can, do the best for you, and always follow their advice, because they won't intentionally steer you wrong. That's for sure. They'll always give you the best up to date information on how to, stay well, and
Mm-hmm.
just like you said, just by coughing and stuff, that can disrupt the internal healing from
Right.
where they've cut, and it takes a little bit, especially inside, internal. It takes a little longer usually for that to heal than it does for like out stitches on the outside or anything like that. Those seem to heal better and faster.
Right. And, anytime your insides are disrupted and like pushed around and moved out of place, it's going to take a while for everything to settle back where it's supposed to be. That's kind of painful too. But now my surgeries that we mentioned earlier, and I'm not going to say any towns or anything like that, but where I'm at right now and where I've had my surgeries is probably about hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half from home. But I found a place to do my chemo treatments because, we all know how high gas and everything is now. But so I didn't want to have to drive all the way up here, every week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is that they're going to order for as far as the chemo. I found a place a lot closer, but their chemo nurses are actually trained by the place I'm at now, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
So
that's great. That's great.
yeah, so they go through a training and a schooling specifically to work with the chemo patients at the place I'm at now, but it's about 30 to 45 minutes from my house versus an hour and 30 minutes from my house. So once I start the chemo, I won't be traveling quite as far. I mean, it's still a little 45 minutes, but it's not near as far as I am right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Every little bit helps, and I don't know how often you'll have to do it, but if you're talking 30 minutes off of a trip, one way, and then 30 minutes back, it's an hour. An hour's worth of gas. How many ever times a week or a month you have to do it
Right.
could add up and be significant. It could really help you out.
Right, right. Well, now I know
Serena
next
says
thought.
that Serena says Ronald McDonald houses will house you and your children.
Yeah, yeah.
I
They
think
do have a they do have a Ronald McDonald house where I'm at right now in this town. Because I had to say her when my son was young, Nikki, but um, I'm not, they have stuff going on, sports. Well, that's where my daughter does color garden on Marshall Base, and she works. She's got a job. She's 17. She wants to. So, we're not really looking to be that far away
robot.
from home. But like I said, that closer place, I've researched it. And honestly, the doctor that did my surgery, the way he said, "Do you think orange juice at Kroger and that town is any better than orange juice at Kroger and this town?" So basically, saying is, if you're getting the same medication, it doesn't matter where you're getting. Yeah.
Robot in a little bit. Robot in a little bit. That's
Oh man. that better?
Every time I tell you you're roboting, and then you stop for a second and you say like, "Oh man," or "Am I now?" You're not no more. I don't know what it is.
I'm getting my phone too close to my mouth,
Oh, is
and
that what
I
it is?
back it up. Yeah. Um, but what he said, did you hear the analogy about the orange juice?
I didn't hear you.
Did you hear what I said about the orange juice? The analogy I gave?
No, I still didn't hear you. You roboted on me.
Oh no. Can you hear
Sound like
me?
you said something about orange juice.
Yeah. Can you hear
Well,
me now?
yeah,
Okay, so the doctor used orange juice as an example. He said the orange juice in that town is no better than the orange juice in this town, basically saying it's the same chemo, it's the same medication, so no matter whether I get it there or get it here, it's going to be the same.
yeah. Well, that makes sense.
You know, and like I said, they are trained by the place that I'm at now, so it's a lot closer to home. About half, it cuts the trip in half, and they're still trained for the same. With,
You cut completely out. Yeah, you might be getting feedback from some of the machinery. I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
Now you're good. I don't know what it is.
I did put the phone on the other side of the bed away from the machinery, so it may have been the machinery.
It's clear as a bell right now.
Okay, I'll leave it right here. Um, but you know, I feel like I'm taking over your show.
No, we earlier today, like there's so much drama going on, and it's not not anything involving anything here, but just so much going on with so many different creators and channels that we kind of decided to push back the Damon Stevens stuff for another day anyway. So I just wanted to come on,
Okay.
and we just want to talk about what's going on with you anyway. So um, so we
And
just
I'm sorry, Steve. I know I do talk loud. That's probably what it is. I talk really, really loud. I'll try to talk a little bit quieter.
Steve said something about doing a joint auction. I'm down for that as long as we make sure somebody don't try to get us in trouble for it. So, one of those cheese eating rats go tell on us. Did
Yeah, I don't know all
they
the
make a
rules.
big deal over Ernie's auction, or I can't remember.
Um, you have to here. The only person that supposedly CM. Do you know who CM is in the true crime community?
Yes.
TIR.
Yeah.
Okay. Supposedly, which I didn't get to verify it before it was deleted, that it was actually his account, but supposedly he had commented on the community page that they had to include a no purchase necessary option or it was illegal. So I don't know what that means. I mean, I know you get a Mountain Dew bottle and they're having a sweepstakes, you see that term, no purchase necessary, but you did buy the Mountain Dew. So I don't know really what that means.
Right. Unless
Um,
you go steal it, right? You go steal
right,
them.
right. So that's the only thing that I know of that happened with that. But I don't know anything about anything like that. I mean, I appreciate the thought, but I don't want anybody to do anything that's going to get them in trouble. I mean, trolls are one thing, but getting in trouble or whatever, is a whole nother ball game.
There you go. We'll just have all the mods present, and with all the, anybody who submits a bid, or if there's a chance, by the chance, then they can send it directly to your Cash App, and that way, it all goes there, and there's nothing nobody can say. I don't think. But I think it'll be like, you know, probably wouldn't be a big deal unless somebody tried to, make it a big deal. And surely to God, I don't think they would for anything like that. Oh,
Uh,
Steve said he could run it through
and
the Viking Media business account. There we go.
and if you have to, I give you permission to share that picture that I sent. Scan over it one more time. I don't think it has any pertinent information on it, but scan over it one more time. And if you need to show that, you have my permission.
Okay. All right. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Yeah, we may do that.
Because it lists out step by step all the different conditions and the date and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to do everything we can possibly do, try to, help you as much as we can anyway. Um, you know, and definitely even, I know everybody aren't in a position where they can give financially. Prayers are appreciated too. So make sure,
Absolutely.
make sure,
Absolutely.
if you can't send money, that's okay. A lot of people can't, and a lot of people can't send much, but every little bit counts, and every prayer counts. You know, if you want to just and send her a message when she's in chat, tell her you're
And
praying for her, how she doing, and that uplift her in spirit that way. So
you don't know if you're one of the people that can't afford to donate, you don't have to acknowledge that in chat. And I'm only saying this because I've seen it happen on other channels. Sorry I couldn't donate, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that. Nobody owes me any explanation. If you can, that's fine. Even if it's $1, that's fine. If you cannot, that's fine. Like Jimbo said, prayers are free. If you don't pray, send positive energy, whatever that you can do. Um, but you don't have to, if you see me in chat or whatever, you don't have to say, I'm sorry I couldn't donate. You don't owe me that. So, whatever you can give, whether monetarily or spiritually, positive vibes, anything will help me right now. And for my kids, um, they do have a dad. He is about 3 hours away, gets them on weekends and things like that. So, but, you know, me and their grandparents is all they've ever known, and it worries me for my kids worse than myself, if something were to happen. But, but yeah, just like I said, even if it's just a positive thought during the day, my name or my condition pops up in your mind, that's great. Just send that positive energy.
I wish we all had your attitude, including me. I wish I did. You're so positive all the time, I sure appreciate your friendship, and like we was talking earlier, I'm so glad you found our channel, and we love having you here.
And I love being here. Like I said to you earlier, it's weird because when I found this channel, immediately after my husband died, I was really down. I was sick, but I didn't know it. But I thought it was just all depression all the time. Which part of it was, but part of it was my illness as well.
Right.
And all I had was YouTube. I wasn't working. My kids are teenagers, so they're either in the room or out with a friend or whatever, teenagers do. So I was alone a lot, and I wasn't used to that. I was with my husband. I only got 10 years with him, but when you're used to having somebody right there, we both worked together. We both worked at the place together, and then when the what hit, we both worked from home together, so we were together all the time.
Yeah.
So when he was gone, it was a huge difference. Suddenly I was alone most of the time, so I really got into this YouTube thing, and but all I found was negativity everywhere. And what I like to tell Jimbo is I'm soccer. I don't go in and talk in these chats, but I'm watching, you know. Um, and it was just so negative all the time. And then I found this channel, and I know this sounds like a hill of beans, but it's true. We've got the closest, friendliest chat that I've ever seen. in any live stream, you know, as far as how we all talk to each other, ask each other how we're doing, you know, and seem to really care when we ask it. We're not just saying it. Um, like before I even spoke in the chat, I saw Gwen. Has anybody heard from E Squared today? You know, and that's before she even knew that I was in here, you know,
Yeah.
and that makes me feel good. You know, maybe I'm just one of these lonely old housewives that we like to talk about, but I ain't giving no money away. But you know, that makes me feel good to see what are actually strangers to me, you know, care about how I'm doing and think about me without even me being present and, you know, bringing that thought into her mind. She just automatically asked, you know, how I was doing. And that means a lot to me, you know. And the point of that whole story was it really helped me when I was going through that hard time to become a part of this community and, you know, have all of you all to talk to and the vent to and not have to worry about things getting screenshotted and put up on community posts and this and that like you do with other channels. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. This, you know, you're right. It seems like everybody just, you know, gets along, and the ones who don't want to get along, they usually just move along. You know, they don't hang out, and like, you know, we don't really get too many trolls, and when they do, you know, they see that it's really not working out for them because they don't really get, you know, they don't really get hammered like they're expecting, and I think they get bored with it and leave. So
That's it. They're looking when these trolls are hopping from chat to chat to chat, they're looking to stir up stuff and to find negativity. And when we keep it positive and, you know, light and love and kumbaya, they don't like that. So they move along, you know. I believe that.
yeah,
And I mean it's been proven because you look at some lives where it's about drama and you'll have hundreds of people in there. And then you live about something serious or something positive, you have and that's proof. Proof's in the pudding.
Robot's trying to get you. Serena Smile sent a um, super chat, says we love you, E Squared prayers. And I think that's
Oh,
three hands up prayers. Yep, yep.
I love you too,
A lot
Serena.
of people are telling you they love you, and yeah, there's I probably missed a bunch. Yeah, let me
Okay.
something right quick. This we'll cover this right quick, and then we can move on from this. I don't. Um, I know it's been said that Ernie's in the hospital. It's not been independently verified that I know of. I know he's told a couple people that he actually is in the hospital, but as far as I know, they haven't, you know, called the hospital or anything like that I know of. Or, well, not that they haven't called, but it hasn't been verified that he's been in the hospital. So take it for what it's worth. I don't know. I just know what's been said. So I don't know if he is or not, but that is the word going around. Um, Somebody's saying he had a heart attack or stress levels high, something. I don't know, but you're going to hear probably 1,000 things, and you may not hear the truth out of all of it. So,
Exactly.
but so no more Ernie talk. Let's not tonight. Another night. Another night. um, the mean people are currently eating one another in. Oh yeah, that's what's going on in the YouTube world right now. I don't know if you saw any of it, but the the you know, I don't want to say all the creators, but you know, like the a lot of the ones that have been uh, around the Wells case are
Yeah.
really having it out with each other. There's, you know, lines being drawn and stuff being talked. So I think it's just going to get uglier before it gets better. It always does, I think. But
Yeah,
he's HIPAA
it
protected.
definitely will.
Okay, there you go. Serena says he's HIPAA protected, so no one really knows. There you go. Yeah, they somebody might call the cops and have him go over there. Is that right? Tell him he's playing with a knife in the hospital or got a tomahawk in the hospital. Maybe they'll go get him arrested. Yeah.
Mm,
If they know what hospital he's at, they'll definitely send the cops over. Nah, I should say that. But they do a lot. They do send the police after him a whole lot.
yeah, yeah, and that's I mean, I know it's Ernie, and he does things that we'll probably never understand. But when you do stuff like that, and you call the cops and you take up their time, imagine if there is something hugely important going on, especially in a smaller town like these towns that Ernie's in. A lot of times when they call the cops,
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness.
they
Need
don't
your
have
milk?
many. They don't
Yeah.
have many cops. So imagine they're all the way on the other side of town dealing with Ernie when he's not really doing anything. And there's some kind of domestic violence or a car wreck or something all the way on the other side of town. It's going to take them longer to get there because they're dealing with BS from YouTube.
And that's what Steve just said, wasted resources. Or, you know, like I told somebody earlier today, Ernie's not innocent in all of this as far as, somebody said something about him being bullied. Now he's played a part in
No.
it too, but he carries all these cell phones and all these cops that get called and say this man's got a gun, and then when they pull up on the scene, if Ernie reaches for a cell phone, they're liable to see him meet his
Yeah.
end right there on YouTube, and I think that's what some of them are looking for. And to me, that would just be just awful tragedy, and some cop would end up going to jail for it, and Ernie would lose his life, and you know, and his family would lose a brother, a son, and all that. So, it's just I think things need to be thought through before you, like Steve said right there, abuse law enforcement that way. Like, make better decisions. I mean, there's other way to make people miserable. If that's your whole goal is to make somebody miserable, just don't use the police as a weapon. You know. And now sometimes some people deserve to have the law called on them, and when they do, I think they should get it called on them. But
Ah,
a lot of times, like you know, and I'm not sitting here just taking up for Ernie, but a lot of times I've seen him literally sitting in a restaurant eating, and the cops come up on him. Like
yeah,
you got a knife? Did they ask anybody else in the restaurant if they had a knife? No,
no.
just Ernie. So you know, um,
Yeah, I agree. If he's having one of his alleged, what I believe to be episodes that he has, and he's out putting himself in danger, walking in traffic and doing things like that, absolutely call the police.
yes, yeah,
Absolutely, because he's going to hurt himself or cause somebody else to swerve and wreck and hurt somebody else.
yeah,
Absolutely call the police. But if this man is sitting there eating freaking Long John Silver's or whatever in the heck he's doing, leave him alone. You know what I mean? And I don't care for Ernie. I don't know Ernie. Like I said, I've never chatted in his chat. I've never had an interaction with him. I watch him visually. From time to time, I do not sit there for the whole 1 hour or 2 hours. I just check in 2 or 3 minutes at a time, or on the clip channels or something like that. But I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's my mortal enemy. Once that's done so many times, this is pointless. I
right,
mean, and like I said, it uses up resources, and it's just unnecessary, especially when people know that he is not allegedly the most mentally stable person anyway, and they're going to drive him to these episodes. I'm afraid. You know what I mean? I'm afraid that he's not going to be able to take it
yeah,
much longer.
yeah. Or like you said, like I said, people call the cops and they roll up and Ernie pulls out one of his phones. Let me show you this picture. You
Yeah.
know, how many times you seen somebody reaching for something that wasn't actually a gun get gunned down? You know.
Yeah, and they think it's a gun because you know how he is with his evidence and official documents. He'd be pulling out the phone saying, look here," and they would think maybe it was a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just people have died from that, Steve. You're exactly right. Let's just pray that all gets there's so many charismatic people on YouTube, far more charismatic than me, that can really reach masses of people, and instead of using that ability to do good things and to have bring awareness to you know positive awareness, like to these these kids that are missing. I'm not just talking about one. I'm talking about there's many of them every day. You
Yeah.
know, instead of doing that, you know, they're hammering each other. Like going to war with each other. Like it's like gang style on YouTube. You're right. Yeah, cult leader Steve said. Yeah, it's like you know, let's use our outreach for good things, man. I mean, it could be so much stuff accomplished if because you got some of these channels and when I say big numbers, like there's a couple going at it right now, and I'm not going to say any names, but both of them have over 15,000 subscribers. That's 30,000 people
Yeah.
that at any given time are going to see what they're saying. Why not use that to do something great instead of trying to convince the other 15,000 that their person is an idiot? you know, uh, why can't we all just work together? I don't know. And and those channels are big to me, but then there's channels with millions of subscribers out there. But you notice, these smaller channels that are trying to eat each other up and devour each other's channels. They don't go picking on that channel yet. They're not big enough.
Right. And you'll notice the ones that grow the fastest, and I ain't gonna mention no names, but the ones that grow the fastest are the ones that just get on there and crap talk people, and they're not even talking about anything important. It's like they're just sitting around chatting with a buddy, but it's all gossip all the time and a lot of lies. Um,
That's what Bannerbee says right there. She says, but they can't make enough money off positivity and great things, drama wells, and that's
I,
all they care about. Yeah, it's the money. It's
I,
drama
I,
sales, drama sales, and that's all they care about is money. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if anyone else has seen what I'm about to describe that I saw this morning, early this morning, before I even left my house to come to the hospital. And it disturbed me so much that I reached out to someone. I did not call the police. I did not call CPS, but I will tell the story without names. Um, this girl was brought to my attention. She's pregnant and homeless. She's on YouTube. She has mental issues that she acknowledges, and she's claiming that the baby was a result of, non-consensual whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but she's also claiming that if this man doesn't take her in and provide her with everything she needs and this baby needs, and trigger warning, I'm going to tell you exactly what this mother said this morning that made my skin crawl. And she said it before, but I heard this one with my own ears. She literally said, if I don't find a man to step up and be this child's father, whether it's, and she says everybody's name, she says addresses, she doxes every single person she talks about that's in her life, but I'm not going to do that. So she said, if I don't find a man that's going to take me in and get me what I need and take care of this baby, whether it be the guy that did it or any guy, she said, I will go down to such and such mall, go up to the third story and fling myself off that balcony.
Oh my gosh.
And she said, I'm not going to wait until after I have the baby to do that.
Hopefully a self-mandated reporter saw that. And
Okay. Well, here's what I did. I mean, it freaked me out. Okay. So, because she said other things that I've seen that are quite disturbing as well, but this really got to me this morning. Okay. I was already kind of in a certain state because I was nervous and everything. So I went back through her videos. I started scouring her YouTube page, and she had taped sessions with her psychologist with his full name in the description. So what do? I look up this man on YouTube, on Google, and I call this man. It was 7 a.m. I got his voicemail. I let him know, and the videos with the psychologist were about a year old, so I let him know I was calling regarding either a current or a past client of his, and I told him what she said. I told him I was in great fear of not only her life, but her baby's life, and that if he had any way whatsoever to contact her, he needs to do so ASAP. That's what I left on that man's voicemail, because she's in a whole nother state. She's far, far, far away. I can't just jump in my car and drive down there and find her. And I
right.
don't know what I would do if I could. But so I called that psychologist, and I said, I'm not asking you to divulge any information. I don't even want you to call me back. I said, I just want you to have this information. And I told him. So
That's good. Good. Glad you did. Hey, Sandy. Sandy says, evening, Jimbo. P.S. Ernie's fine. so, so there.
And like I said, I've never done anything like that or gone real life, but I just couldn't live with myself once I heard that, you
I'm
know.
glad you did. Yeah.
And I didn't like pull up her background or anything else. She had videos that had this man in it with his name. So she put his information out there. No. So I called him.
Yeah.
Because
Was the
because
voicemail, was that the person?
yes, it said his name. It was his actual office.
Awesome.
He is a psychologist. I Googled him. I read about him. He is very old. He was, uh, I think, 79 or 80 when they made the videos. So, but the voicemail still said his name, and it was him speaking. I heard the voice that matched the voice on the video. Um, so I just laid it out there. I told him what her name was, and I said, I know that she was a past client. I don't know if she still is, but if you have any way to contact her whatsoever, something needs to be done ASAP.
Yeah.
And, and it does. Because she's already said she's not going to go to the hospital and deliver. She's not, she's made threats to this baby that's not even born multiple times, and she's only 29 weeks pregnant. It's ridiculous. And the whole point of this is, when I saw it, it made me want to reach out and help.
Yeah.
But there is a creator. I'm going to catch it for this. I'm not going to say the name, but just mentioning this, I'm probably going to catch it. There is a creator that is making videos of this lady making fun of her.
Oh no, really?
Yes. And she's already in that state of mind where she's talking about jumping off third floor balconies, pregnant. And there's a creator that is actively, like this week, actively making videos, laughing, cussing, talking about how horrible this woman is. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You did good by contacting somebody, anybody. Um, hmm.
I mean, I don't know if he'll do, I don't, but as a psychologist, he should at least be mandated to reach out to law enforcement. I don't know if it comes from a third party hearsay, if he's still mandated to do that, but hopefully anybody with a heart in that same town would try to do something. But see, the thing is, this girl, she doesn't leave comments able, or she disables comments on all her videos. So the trolls can't go over there and leave comments. So now we have a creator that's doing their own videos about her. So all of the trolls can chat in that chat about it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they probably get big views and people chiming right in on it too. So,
Yep.
that, honestly, the society, not the normal part of society, but there's a huge part of society that craves that kind of ignorance. They want to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember. Anybody remembers? I'm sure some of you do. But the show Jackass when it used to come on TV, like people just watch those idiots just hurt themselves over and over, like just being jackasses. They would, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know, they burn themselves and let animals bite them and just crazy stuff all the time, and people loved it. I mean, it was a hit show. People love seeing that chaos.
And I would have empathy for her, even if it was just her. But she is also threatening the life of an unborn child that did not ask to be there.
Yeah.
That's the part that I just couldn't take. I was like, this is not right. Somebody, you don't laugh about stuff like that. That to me, that is not in any way funny.
Well, I've always been told that any kind of threat like that, threat of death, threat of violence, or threat of suicide, is to be taken seriously, whether they're serious or not. Because it only takes a mood swing to make it from something that's not serious into something that's real as can be. Um,
Yeah.
I've always been told, you take every single threat, every single suicide threat or anything like that. And I can't keep saying that name, saying that word, but and as the real thing. You gotta consider it real.
Yeah, and she has no shame about it. When I saw that video this morning, it was posted 8 hours prior to that. So that video had been up there for 8 hours, and you would think, I mean, I had to do 2 seconds of research to get that psychologist's name. Why wasn't his mailbox full? Why wasn't his voicemail full? It
Yeah,
should have been,
should have been. Yeah, for sure.
but it wasn't.
Mm-mm. That's sad.
I don't know. It is, and this girl is no saint. She's no angel. She has done some gross things, killing puppies, and she's lost her other kid, and this and that, blah blah blah. But that has nothing to do with what she's saying she's going to do to this new baby that's not even asked to be put into this situation.
Yeah,
So I'm not asking for sympathy for this girl. I don't even know this girl, but I'm not portraying her to be, oh, poor her, poor her. They're making fun of a mentally handicapped person. No, she's not that mentally handicapped. She has issues, kind of like Ernie. And from what I can tell, I haven't really watched a lot of her, but it comes and goes. I've seen videos where she's very intelligent, very good vocabulary, and it actually makes sense. She don't just throw big words in there that don't fit. So she does have issues though, and she has been arrested multiple times, and like I said, killing puppies and blah blah blah, horrible things, but that has nothing to do with trying to protect that child. That's that's the way
Sounds,
I'm looking at it.
yeah, it sounds like she might need to be picked up for her own good and the baby's own good, and
Absolutely.
some
And if
kind of.
I knew where she was, she's careful, I think. I don't know if she does it on purpose, but she's careful about not. I know what city and state she's in, but she's careful about not showing where she's at, um, either purposely or not purposely. I don't know. But she just stares into the camera and talks. She doesn't turn her chat on or anything. She just sits there and talks to herself. Um, so, if I ever catch it to where I can recognize what store she's at or where she's at, then I might consider calling just because I don't think that'd be a waste of their time. Literally saying these things word for word, herself and her baby.
Yeah. Goodness.
It's just gross that people take that and use it as content and spread it out there, and not for awareness, not for, hey, let's track this girl down and get eyes on her so we can get her 5150 or get her put in a mental hospital. No, that's not the reason they're doing it. They're going to talk about how big of a she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not helping. Because you think she's not going to come across this other chance when they put her name
Robots trying to get.
in? You think she's not going to come across those other channels when they put her name right in the title? I mean, she's going to find those videos,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. You'll see.
that's not good.
No.
But I know you've got an early morning in the morning. I seen that, so I'll go ahead and jump down, and I'll keep you guys posted. When the doctor comes in the morning, I'll be a little more clear-headed, and I'll be able to ask questions that I didn't get to ask today. And I'll definitely let you guys know exactly what we're doing and what happened during the surgery.
All right, great. They saying when they might let you out?
Well, he said at the consultation that if they did it laparoscopically, it would probably be about 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I say.
Yeah. Take Gwen's advice. Get you some rest and be ready for that doctor to come in the morning and give you some good news, and we'll be praying for the best. And let me take down this thing right quick. You guys, that's her Cash App and her PayPal me right there at the bottom of the screen. If you guys want to contribute a little bit while she's in the hospital, any little bit of help, and if you can't send money, send some prayers.
Exactly. Anything positive, just send it my way. I appreciate everything. Whether it's a comment on this video or a thought during the day, anything is appreciated. So you guys have a good night. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right. Good night, E Squared.
All right. Good night.
All right. Well, that was a good positive guest. So yeah, so glad that press that button. Glad she's feeling positive and feeling good and doing well tonight. So, I'm so glad she was upbeat enough to be able to come on and talk to you guys, to talk to us. I appreciate that so much, and it's uplifting for me to hear her being so positive. Um, Tomorrow we'll get an update from E Squared. We'll start again. We'll start at 9 p.m. tomorrow. Unless there's 12 rounds of I tried to think of something clever. I'm just gonna call it boxing on YouTube boxing. But and then if it's gonna be another cinematic night, we will probably push back till 10. But try to start at 9 tomorrow night, and um, we would start even earlier, but we'll wait till 9 because I've got to go out of town in the morning, and it may be in the evening before I get home. Oh, thank you, Serena. Thank you. Um, so you guys, like I said, that's her cash app. I'm gonna leave it up throughout the while we run the exit video and everything. So if you guys feel compelled, please do so. And like I said, um, even if you can't give money, prayers are great too. And just show her some love and let her know we're thinking about her. Um, yeah, watch Amber Heard tomorrow. We'll talk about it too. Maybe we can get Chaotic Beauty and Crown to come over and talk about Amber Heard. So we'll talk about it a little bit too. So you guys have a good night. I'm gonna go in here and get me some rest and get up early in the morning. And it's actually Mama C's appointment tomorrow, but I'm gonna drive her to it. So it's my turn to chauffeur tomorrow. So you guys have a good night. I thank you all for hanging out here with us and showing such positive love for E Squared. Um, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'm Jimbo, coming to you live from the stand.